Gruppo Albatros Il Filo presents Like a Peppercorn, a book by Giancarlo CREPALDI. As soon as he comes back from a long trade mission that culminated in an unexpected battle to defend an allied city, the Great Council of Venice gives Commander Enrico Dagnolo a thorny task in distant Byzantium. He immediately starts thinking of his wife Claudia and the child she's bearing. The baby will be born in just 2 months, and the new journey will not allow him to be there in time to welcome his first heir to the world. His task is extremely important though. The capital of the Eastern Empire is reneging on the Golden Deal with La Serenissima, fostering trade routes with Pisa and Genoa, and endangering the future of the Republic of Venice, historically focused on commerce and sea dominance. Enrico cannot refuse to obey the Doge and the Council, and despite some slight complaints, he must leave. 4 days later, he embarks on a mission that will prove to be pivotal to his own future and for the future of Venice. Like a Peppercorn describes passionately and precisely some of the most important events in the history of La Serenissima between the 12th and the 13th century, focusing on the figure of the Doge Enrico Dandolo, a wise politician and strategist who promoted Venice's involvement in the Fourth Crusade. Besides his romanticized character, we find other great historical figures, real or fictional, that play a part in an accurate and vivid portrayal of the spirit animating the people of the lagoon when Venice was at the peak of its power. Twelfth century. A bear moves in the undergrowth, a regular rustle accompanying the movement of its legs, while a man observes him from a distance without worrying about the danger. When the bear is near him and fiercely opens its jaw, Enrico opens his eyes, waking up from the nightmare. Returning to reality, he observes the wooden ceiling of the cabin, still hearing that rustling movement. Only now could he distinguish what provoked him. He climbs onto the deck of the ship to observe the crew, an imposing Venetian fleet consisting of 9 large cargo ships escorted by 38 long war galleys, was sailing from east to west on the return journey to Venice. All that was left of the journey was a final stop in the city of Jaffa, where the inhabitants were friends of the Venetians with whom they had traded for years to the benefit of both, and then the long return home going back to the Adriatic Sea. Enrico, admiral of the Venetian fleet, exchanged a few comments with his second in command, already savoring the pleasures that awaited both of them on their return. Above all, Enrico was looking forward to going home to witness the birth of his first child. He hoped it was a male, the heir he desired. From the masthead, the lookout suddenly cried, "Smoke on the horizon!" Approaching the handrail, the sailor saw smoke rising from an extensive piece of ground beyond the rocky ridge. The area was too large for it not to be something serious. When the Venetian ships arrived in the harbour, they couldn't dock at the port of Jaffa. The city had been besieged by pirates who, after massacring the population, had set fire to both warehouses and homes. The survivors, women and children alike, mourned the men who had been killed while tirelessly attempting to defend their homes and livelihood. A French nobleman on a mission to the Holy Land, bringing a dispatch from the King of France to the leper king of Jerusalem, approached the flagship on a small boat. Once boarded, he told Enrico that pirate ships had suddenly appeared on the horizon, bearing an Egyptian flag. They moored and started what seemed at first like normal trade. After a few hours, other ships docked at the pier and the massacre began. The siege lasted about 4 hours, after which they set the city alight, burning it down. The Venetian commander, angered on hearing of the massacre, decided to invite the Frenchmen to remain aboard until the ships reached their destination, Venice. He also decided to take revenge on the pirates. Whistling for the attention of the commanders of the other ships aboard, he informed them of what had happened and of his desire to fight the pirates. The other commanders didn't all agree with him, as they preferred to sail on the Candia on the Isle of Crete, where they would find wheat and other goods to fill the holds to take back to Venice. But Enrico had an idea about how to defeat the pirates, which he shared with them, allowing them to decide whether to join him or not. Dawn on the next day saw the large cargo ship advancing west, escorted by only 2 war galleys. As soon as the morning mist started to rise from the sea, pirate ships appeared on the horizon. The pirates noticed the substantial lack of escort, but still fired up from their success the day before, decided to loot the ships. It is only when the pirates finished their maneuvers and began heading towards the Venetian fleet that they realized they had fallen into a trap.